And welcome to the Scarlet and Gray podcast, everybody. This is your co-host Cory. No Johnny again because he's got domestic responsibilities right now at the moment. But I'm very happy to have our good friend Brandon Moses, B Moses, join us again. Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses on Facebook. I'll put the link in the description at B Moses30 for Twitter. I'll put that in the description. Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. We're actually about to be noon in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, man. Spring ball is here. Ready to talk some football, some Ohio State football.
Yeah, basketball season is officially over with. We are now on to spring football. I don't know about you, Brandon. I am digging the highlights they're showing of all the physicality going on, all the pad wearing going on. It's making me miss football. I talked to my friend last night. I miss football. I said, man, I miss football. And he goes, well, it's going to be back. And I'm like, you don't understand. I don't care if it's back in August.
Right.
It's like we got a few months for it. But hey, man, I don't know about you, but I'm hyped about these videos. But also hyped about some of the possible rumors flowing around. I mean, this is rumor season, silly season, man. It's time to talk about rumors. We're going to talk about a rumor today. Obviously, the Ohio State linebacker room got hit hard. You know this. Baron Browning, Pete Werner, Tuff Borland, Justin Hilliard, they're top four linebackers. Some would argue not their top four, according, because Tuff doesn't have a lot of fans but he was one of the top four according to the coaches, whether you like it or not. Hilliard came on strong last year. At the end of the year, obviously became one of the top guys. Started in the championship game. Tell you what, man, it is a hard loss no matter what. That's if your four most experienced guys gone. Thankfully, Mitchell and Gant got some experience. Craig Young got a little bit of playing time. That's who I'm told, Brandon. Those three are going to be the guys. That's who we're told that we think those three will be the linebackers, with Young kind of being a hybrid safety bullet type position. Makes sense. I look. I'll be honest with you. None of them have shown, like, to me, a lot of wow factor. Not yet. I'm not saying they can't, but not yet.
Right.
And I will say this about Young: he hasn't shown anything because he hasn't got to play enough yet. He had to bulk up. He came in a skinny guy who's athletic. He had to bulk up. We get excited about guys like Cody Simon as well, right? Tommy Eichenberg's getting some hype right now.
Yeah, he is.
I have no idea. I mean, Eichenberg, people are going to compare to Tuff Borland. I'll say, look, his brother at Notre Dame's a really good player. Let's give him a chance, to show it as well. Brandon, that's why the rumors are swirling, man. We thought this was done and over with. We were done looking for linebackers to transfer. It's over with. Forget it. The one name that pops out, Henry To'o. We're going to call him Henry T for the rest of the show because I can't say To'o 300 times. Guy from DeSalle, California, was a freshman All-American for Tennessee linebacker. And sophomore year, did a little bit, did about the same as his freshman year. But he's got good size at 6'2", 230, good athleticism. He play inside, outside. Maybe, according to Brandon Huffman's scouting report, maybe over pursues a little bit too much. But, things like that are correctable. But it still has everything you need in a linebacker, right? Size, speed, and he played, whether we did this the SEC or not, he played well in the SEC. That's a good conference to play well in. This isn't some scrub. Rumors are that he could possibly, he's not at Tennessee camp right now, he could possibly find his way at Ohio State. It's not indefinite yet, but even Berm is saying he thinks he might end up on Ohio State's roster. We thought it could go to Alabama. Now there's an issue. Maybe they won't allow allow him to play right away in conference. So maybe he looks elsewhere as a result because he wants to play right away. Now it's maybe he's not showing up. He was rumored to go back to Tennessee, and he's not showing up on the spring roster. Okay, so enter Ohio State. Brandon, what do you think about all this?
I love it. Listen, it's a rumor, and we take it with a grain of salt and don't get married to it and all that other stuff. But I'm excited at the possibility. I mean, because he has to see our depth chart, and I'm sure Al Washington and our coaches are saying, look, you can slide right in here. Nothing's guaranteed. You got to earn it, but we're willing to bet on you that you'll earn it. We need leadership. We need your abilities and all that. So I think his first probably desire is to stay in the South. Maybe that makes sense. But I mean, he has to be looking at this depth chart and the ability to get to another playoff and play for a national title. Yeah. And the fact that Berm, he just don't be saying stuff. I mean, like he's pretty good with the inside information, and he definitely doesn't like to put stuff out there that will come back and bite him. So when he says something like that, you think there's some smoke, there's some legitimacy going on. And also Andrew Ellis out of 11 Warriors, was implying some things on the message board indirectly. So there's some smoke out there with this, and we both got our eyes on it. But I love the possibility of him coming in. And one other thing, I've seen some fans really saying, "Well, I don't know if we should bring him in because it might scare some of our current linebackers off." I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's just a part of the game right now. If it does, it does. I mean, if they stay here and compete, great. If not, that's just the way of the portal right now, y'all. So we're going to play the game to the best of our abilities and let the chips fall where they may. That's how I see it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Brandon. Look, people who are saying we might scare off some of our linebackers, well, then they need to be better. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is big boy football. If
Yep.
Al Washington is not a guy that'll come in and say, you know what, if he doesn't trust you, he just doesn't trust you, and that's how it is. I mean, Al was a smart coach, and he's a loyal guy who loves his players. He recruits these guys. But he's not, and we know he's a huge fan of Taraja Mitchell for what it's worth. We know that. He said great things about him in different clinics and coaching clinics and things like that. But he knows he knows if a guy's ready or not, and if you're not showing him you're ready, then don't be mad. He brings in somebody he thinks can fill the gap. But this is big boy. You're an adult now, man. It's time. It's time to sack up and get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. You can't just be upset that they're bringing in somebody else. Well, cry about it. Go beat them out. Show them it was a mistake to waste a scholarship on a transfer, in camp. Otherwise, just step aside and let the guys who want to play. Or you can go pout about it. I don't know. I don't have any sympathy for anybody who might scare them up. Oh well, then go transfer yourself. Go somewhere else. Go to Akron, as Urban would say. It's just
you preaching. You preaching, bro.
I know, man.
You.
I hear you. I mean, look, I think we're on the same page on that. It's just like, this is Ohio State, man. This is not Pee Wee football. There isn't, a parent can't come down. Hey, my son needs to play. Earn it. Just earn it, man. Like you're saying.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what else? Cory, Dallas Gant recently injured his foot from what we were hearing. Yeah. So Dallas Gant has a foot, and he's probably going to be out for the rest of the spring from what I was reading. So listen, he should be fine by fall camp. But the fact of the matter is, you just don't know. I mean, as a coach, as a unit coach, you're going to do whatever you can to secure your room and to help contribute towards the ultimate goal. And if bringing Henry T in is a part of that, and you got to make your move. And you know what I mean? Like you said, these other players, they have to have the mindset to say, I'm going to show them that they shouldn't have brought nobody in. This is my spot, like you said, Cory. Absolutely. That's the mentality we need.
Absolutely. Not to mention, I'm going to go back in history here a little bit, man. I mean, you and I, we up there a little bit, we're not old, but we ain't young either. I remember coming in and Katzenmoyer was the standard, Al Diggs was a great player. People don't even talk about him, but that was a really good player.
Yeah.
Of course, you got AJ Hawks, Bobby Carpenters of the world, Ryan Shaziers, James Laurinaitis, Marcus Freeman was a solid player. I haven't seen that great linebacker play in a while, except for Hilliard in the Big Ten title game. I have not seen a linebacker completely take over a game. We've either had solid linebacker play or terrible linebacker play. And I'm waiting. Could Toho, sorry. It seems like one would be enough. No, I'm kidding. Could he be the guy, Brandon, that maybe transforms that a little bit? Like, because everybody's excited about him. Had a great freshman year at Tennessee. It's not all his fault. Unfortunately, they were bad last year. Not him, but the team was bad last year. Do you think he's a guy who could kind of, enhance that standard a little bit, get us back to that a little bit?
I think so. I mean, listen, ultimately, we never know. We hope. I mean, his body of work so far definitely flashes potential. And listen, Alabama, they want him bad. Like Nick Saban is not going after a transfer to come in just so he can say, "Hey, look at the nice shiny trophy I got from Tennessee," and then put him on the shelf. No, the kid is a stud in a lot of these coaches' eyes based off what they've seen and the potential. So yes, I do think he can come in and do that, especially with the experience of playing in that league. Absolutely. So, and that's why I'm excited to hear about this rumor, because I think that would just help shore up, because we're replacing 4 starters at linebacker, y'all. We got to remember, like, This is unprecedented. Like, when's the last time this has happened? Even Al Washington, he said this is like once, I forget the wording he used, but he was trying to describe how infrequent this happens. Like, this is important. Like, the linebacker core has to be at the very least solid.
Mm.
So this is a key acquisition if we can get him into the fold. So yeah, I do think he could be the leader and sort of the catalyst in that room to get that room going if he comes in.
Now, here's a little interesting twist, Brandon. We all know Al Washington almost took the defensive coordinator spot at Tennessee, where
Yeah.
Henry To'o is right now.
Right.
So Henry almost had him as a defensive coordinator. So obviously I don't know if they talked or not. I don't know if that's legal. I don't want to assume things. But my guess is Henry did his homework when he heard Al Washington was probably going to be the guy. Henry doesn't seem like a stupid person. So I've seen a couple interviews with him. Seems like a smart kid, raised by a good family who probably did his research. Hey, this is going to be my coach coming in. Then you hear about the rumors of Tennessee being Tennessee. I swear that program is still a dumpster fire 20 years later.
Yeah.
And just messing with his contract buyout. And they did it in the dark of night. They didn't even tell him up front. See, I think he would have pondered it more if they just told him up front. He'd have been respectful about it.
Right.
But trying to do it behind his back, you ain't going to win any loyalty with that. All of a sudden, then, of course, Al Washington sees that the grass is not always greener. Ryan Day treats me right. He's going to give me more money, a better situation where I can have more say in what goes on in the defense. I think I'm going to stick it out here at Ohio State, and go win Big Ten titles while Tennessee wins 6 games a year.
Yep.
Anyway, do you think Washington recruiting Henry at the moment? I mean, maybe not at the moment. Is he in the transfer portal for sure? Or I think he is. If he's in the transfer portal for sure, then yes, they'll be recruiting him. But obviously, let's be real. They're probably talking in some fashion. I mean, so is Bama. All these guys do. Do you think it has a little bit of extra juice for Al if he can get this guy from Tennessee, just because of the situation Al had with Tennessee?
Yes. I think in 2 ways. First of all, number one, his dad, for those who don't know, Henry T's dad is very much involved with all of this. He's been very vocal. I forget who he did an interview with some weeks ago, but he's very involved in the process. So I don't know what the sort of what the backdoor loophole is with the rules, but if Henry T ain't talking to Al Washington because of the rules, his daddy sure is. Best believe that. They're communicating for sure, and I think with Al Washington almost going to Tennessee, like you said, just gave extra emphasis to look more into Al Washington in that whole process. Now you bring it back that he's at Ohio State, and yes, it's full circle. So I think that may be a part of why things are, potentially trending our way. On the flip side, well, Al Washington, I think he was probably one of the main kids he was looking at, because if you're a coach, you're about to go, if you're like this close to going to another program, you're looking at the roster, like, oh shoot, look what I got to work with, with talent. I'm pretty sure he was the first kid he looked into, watched his film, was excited, ready to call him and say, hey, I'm ready to coach you, all that stuff. So absolutely, I think there's extra juice from both of those angles with this. And I think that's probably stirred the waters even more towards Ohio State because of that Al Washington connection. That's an excellent point, Cory. And I'm starting to get even more excited. Thanks a lot.
No problem, man. Anything I can do to hype you up. So as of right now, we're recording this. It's Saturday. It's a little afternoon. As of right now, it's just a rumor that let's just be honest. I don't know. In the next few days, when this video comes out, anything can happen. And college football these days moves like that. I was told you probably won't have a decision on that kind of thing for a while. We'll see. Brandon, we're going to do a quick summation here. I want to give you the last word, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm in a prediction. I'm going to just go ahead and guess. I think he ends up on the roster at Ohio State. I think he starts. I don't know where he starts, if it'll be the middle or the outside, but I think he will. And I think – yes, you will see a transfer or two from Ohio State. Kavon Pope might be one. I don't know. I hate to speculate. I don't want to speculate because these kids don't deserve that.
Right.
I know. I bring up Kavon Pope because it sounded like, and I might be wrong, he was a little unhappy last year with some of the playing time and things like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally putting words in his mouth. I could be an idiot. Okay, I could be. I probably am an idiot on this. Anyway, but what do you predict, and do you see like do you see him actually, what do you predict on him as far as him being on the roster, and do you see it actually really helping our defense?
Number one, I think I'm going to predict him to come as well. I just can't see him turning down this roster, man. I mean, like I think that's the number one thing alongside with the relationship with Al Washington, and it's the fact that it's Ohio State. It's the roster. That's huge. So I'm going to say yes, and I think he's going to make a very big impact. I think he's going to be as advertised. As far as position wise, right now, just kind of shooting from the hip, I can see him playing the outside, maybe the wheel. Or I don't see him playing Mike. I think Taraja Mitchell is going to start at the Mike because of his physicality, and he's not as quick and fast laterally. You don't ask your Mike to run sideline to sideline a lot. So I think Henry T has more of that ability to do that. So I think they'll put him on the outside. That's just my guess based off what I know about our personnel. But I think he's gonna make a major impact in that unit. And from what I'm hearing, he's a leader type kid. I mean, he's not, he's a leader in that room as well. So yeah, man, I'm excited about the prospect to get him. It'll make me just feel more confident about that linebacker room that we have a kid like that coming in,
Absolutely. Completely agree. Brandon, let them know where they could find you, man.
I am mainly on Facebook right now. Buckeye Sports Talk with B. Moses is the page. Look it up, like, follow. I post often, communicate often, updates, content, opinions, whatever, funny memes and whatnot. So follow me there. I need to be a little more active on Twitter, and I will. But B Moses at B Moses 30 on Twitter is where you can follow me there. I also have an IG page, Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses on IG as well. So you can follow me on all those places.
Absolutely. I'll include those all in the description once this video comes out. Brandon, as always, man, thanks for filling in for Johnny. Thanks for coming on and sharing your opinion on Henry Toto. Sorry, I'm saying his name wrong already.
I hope his family don't see this. They're going to sue us.
Oh, yeah. Good night,
just
man.
kidding. We love you, Henry. Come to Columbus, man.
Absolutely. Come win the Big Ten. Don't be mid-grade in the SEC. So, all right, Brandon, appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Go Bucks.